because it's only your personal experience, you know, but at least you get it out, you do. I write because for self-expression, I mean, I feel like everybody should write. I mean, it's just something I do, it's something I've always done. I just never really put a label on it as far as like, you know, I didn't know if I was doing poetry or just prose or writing short stories. I just kind of like wrote how I was feeling on a particular. In high school, I really got into poetry, like mostly just reading it. And I had written stuff before, but I didn't really like time together. So when I started reading poetry, I was like, oh, this is something people do. There's like a process to it. So I just started writing then, sort of like, you know, as a freshman in high school, and just kind of wanted to express myself in a different way other than art, because I've always done art as well. I was really drawn to like Christina Rossetti. I think that was like my first like high school like crush, was like this dead poet, because there was a little picture and I cut it out. I love female writers. Like I feel like they were more like, it was darker, and that has sort of appealed to me. And those kinds of writers, like, sort of there was like this sadness, this like loneliness, but they were so like honest about it, and I don't know, that drew me in. And then I was also into like Byron and stuff, mostly because of his like backstory. I'd read about him before I'd read any of his work, and he was just sort of insane, and so I got into like spoken word, and also like Pinheiro and stuff like that, like the New Yorican poets, and so that got me to like modern poetry and stuff. Anytime I write anything or do anything, I mean, you start off with just doing it, you know. Like when I'm working on a painting or like a poem or something I'm trying to write, I just sit down and just start writing or drawing, you know. Like you lay a foundation, and I mean, you might get lucky and the first thing you write is great, you know, but that rarely happens. Like you know, writers work just like anybody else. Write exactly what you want to write, and then and then just keep working on it till it's like a final product. I mean, it's just like anything else. I think everybody should write. I think everybody should sit down, and I think everybody should draw. I think everybody should write. I think everybody should do some sort of artwork. There's this quote from Kurt Vonnegut, like wrote some letter to the school, and just like, even if it's terrible, like at least you're doing it. Like you made something that like came from you. Parts of a story or something, like small parts, and then making it big, you know, like taking a small moment and making like a bigger thing. So I'll write like exactly what I want first, right? And then I just kind of go through, and sometimes, you know, I'll write something and then that'll be it. I'll be done with it. Really long, I mean, there's like, I mean, several steps. It just depends on how much I write at first. Like if I write something, the next step will be I'll reread it and then sort of edit it myself and see if I like it. And if I like it, then I'll send it to like, you know, I'll email like 4 or 5 people and get their opinions on it. Sometimes they're like, it's perfect, and somebody's like, you know, sometimes they're like, you know, change this or change that, or I don't understand what this means. And my goal is always to be like relatable, so I'm always hoping that, you know, everybody gets. Just starting out and you want to start writing is like, the thing to realize is you're always going to start with something raw. Like your first poem is going to be just as like raw as your second one. That's what you should start with. It's complete honesty, and then that's what you work with. Or not, you know, I mean, if you're writing some sort of like fiction or whatever, only adding to the world if you're like making something, whether it's ugly or not, you know. Like you did something on your own. I think everybody should sort of do that.